Right then, lads, I'm going to be handing over to you guys now. Have plenty of fun with this. We're going to see who goes into that upper bracket and who's heading into the lowers.
Thank you, Shogun. I appreciate it. Johnny, here we go. Plot Twist versus Space Station Gaming. Honestly, the way today has been going, if we see another upset, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised.
Yeah, me neither. Plot Twist have already got a good start on the day. They beat United in the first round of the lower bracket in this first stage of the tournament. And they know that they're already into tomorrow's playoff bracket anyway, regardless of the result here. So it's just a good tournament for them, no matter what happens. Pressure's off. Space Station, obviously, earlier on today didn't look that convincing. So maybe there's a chance for Plot Twist to get that upset win. Already a good start for them as AXB just gets crushed on the 50 by Mectos.
Like, what a dunk, too. And the way he's angling it as well to pinch that straight in the midfield gives Sosa a clean net, and Plot Twist already on the board first. You blink and you miss it. Kick off goal to start this series off. Plot Twist do it, but hold on.
Okay.
Space Station Gaming, the quick response.
Well, at least we're getting more goals per game already than we got in the Space Station Envy series. That shows it might have been more Envy than the Space Station causing that to happen. Or maybe Space Station afraid of Envy. But I don't think Space Station are at all afraid of Plot Twist. They're going to be just going straight for every single opportunity in offense that they can get. And then we see actually Sipical making a demo run. Good covering by Arsenal in the defense, alone there. This first game is going to be very telling what kind of Space Station we're going to get. If we get top tier Space Station and Plot Twist, despite their good run here, I don't think they're going to have enough to handle them. And they'll have to make that run in the lower bracket tomorrow as the ball just spills through. A little bit risky in defense by Space Station, but they do not concede this time.
Again, they don't concede. Meanwhile, Plot Twist looking for a chance. A good save coming out from AXB as Arsenal will pick this one up into the corner. He's back on the Octane as he tries to move things forward for Space Station. And here's Sipical. I always talk about the air dribble from him, but Taroko with the read. And we see Space Station Gaming now with a lot of offensive pressure here. They move the ball downfield on a quick drive, but not for long, as Plot Twist seem to be doing a good job of eliminating their chances very quickly and moving the ball downfield. They don't want to get suffocated into that consistent Space Station Gaming offense that we know can be very dangerous over time.
Ooh. Yeah, absolutely. Plot Twist, they know they have to try and pass the ball out of defense. Space Station are circling around, looking to intercept all of their clears. But basically just getting Sosa involved in the game seems to be Plot Twist's win condition. If they can just get the ball to Sosa, or look for anytime Sosa has the ball, try and make runs for the passing plays, that's their biggest weapon.
And look at it paying off big. Sosa will get the assist here, and Taroko will take the shot to give Plot Twist their second goal.
And just once again, Sosa finds that sweet spot on the backboard, and Taroko is as predicted AXB's miss. It is a miss from AXB, and yes, a forced mistake, but still a mistake. And 2-1 lead for Plot Twist. Space Station looking shaky in defense.
Definitely so. You talked about Sosa coming in, the speed on his ability to set up the play is something that Space Station Gaming are going to need to get a grasp on very quickly. You don't want to give him a lot of room, and you don't want to get him comfortable either, because once he gets hyped and gets motivated, he not only brings himself to play at a better speed, but the team as well. Look at the solo play. Taroko will clean it up. The third goal for Plot Twist.
And look at Sosa go once again, just creating so many chances for his team. Forced Typical into the net with the air dribble bump threat, and leaves the ball on the goal line for Taroko to score a second goal. And this guy, he's like the perfect teammate you just want to have on your team, giving you all the goals. Just an assist machine. And if people are wondering how does he do it, well, he's just always trying to make the ball as awkward for the opponents to deal with as possible. Always putting it in difficult positions.
And he tried, and speaking of difficult positions, he was in one. A great shot from AXB, but I think Arsenal comes up big here on the bump.
Yeah, good chase there onto Sosa, who was in goal. And Sosa actually ran away from that, tried to fly out of his own net to get that save. Good attempt, but ineffective as Plot Twist's lead is cut in half. A high-scoring game here. That might be a tie game. No, Sosa's there. We need the full team of Plot Twist to really focus up now and just try to communicate as quickly and as accurately as possible, because Space Station are going to be all over them.
And you can see the kind of burst of life that comes out of Space Station Gaming now. Just really seems like they loaded into the map, to be honest, as they are taking it to this plot twist roster. Sosa, though, lots of room here.
Oh my
this
goodness.
one, Mekto's clean shot, but wait, you can't let that go by. That was a clean chance for them to get their 2-goal lead back.
Once again, Sosa is just finding a way through. He always spots the gap, puts the ball into that difficult position for Space Station to deal with. And honestly, an uncontested shot there for Mektos. He has to put that on target. It's not good enough to hit the post from that range.
So Sosa doing what he can, but just needs a little bit of help closing out. Plot twist, maintain a 1-goal lead with 1:35 left. Space Station Gaming now on the offense. They're not going to let this chance pass them by, as Sypical tries to put a good shot on. Arsenal looking for that midfield pass, but cut out from Mektos. He's going to take this all the way downfield. Patient AXB, but almost too slow. The shot from Taroko just off target.
It's a great game one for Sosa, but they only have 1-goal lead to show for their efforts. But once again, positioning this on point, denying Space Station that opportunity in the near post as another one comes in. It's typical of the slow play. He's past one, past two. Taroko's alone, but he gets the touch as it comes off the bar.
I like that control from Sypical too, allowing that ball to still stay in his possession. Gets another flick into to try to get that shot through, but still just barely off target. Space Station Gaming aren't done yet though. They still have the possession. Ball in the plot twist half as they're looking for another chance. Arsenal tries to go for a challenge off of the ceiling. Taroko's there. It'll be passed away in transition for plot twist, but now both teams control of the midfield, vital here in the final 30 seconds. Plot twist looking to extend their scoreline or at least hold off Space Station Gaming as the clock runs down. Space Station struggling to go the other way, but it starts here. Sypical plays this into the corner. Straight to Sosa. Sypical will try to get a pass done. He has AXB for an assist, and it'll go straight high. Again, bounces off, and we're on the other side of the field, but still in the plot twist in as they scramble in defense in the final seconds. Space Station Gaming hovering over, but that flick from Taroko might do it. Final 5 seconds. Taroko's going to try to kill time. The demo from Arsenal is there. No one from Space Station able to make a touch, and that's plot twist taking game number 1.
And you know, in an off-season where there's so many roster changes, we've had Squishy to NRG, Turbo to Envy, amongst others. You know, Sosa to Plot Twist might be the best one of them all. This is easily, for me, the most improved team, and what a player he is turning out to be. He's causing problems for Space Station Gaming in defense, or when he's in offense, and he's shutting down so many of their attacks. Just everything that I'm seeing this guy do, I'm impressed with. It's a joy to watch.
I mean, you can see the save totals, the shot totals. I mean, even the assist total. Like, he was all over the field. And even times where he probably didn't get an assist, he did so much to carry that ball downfield. He was one of the main reasons Plot Twist got offensive possession. And again, shout out to Taroko because he was the one who was able to finish. He had 2 goals, and they were both assisted from Sosa on that game. So definitely great work from Plot Twist overall as a team. I do believe that they caught Space Station slipping here in game 1. Space Station Gaming tried to pull things back towards the end, but after they dropped that lead, Plot Twist managed to hold off for pretty much the rest of the game. And Space Station Gaming, they couldn't really find any opportunities.
Yeah, Space Station Gaming had ample chances in offense. Sosa just played brilliantly, and Plot Twist as a whole had a pretty organized defense with very few double commits and whiffs to give Space Station opportunities to score. However, you know, Space Station have got to iron out those mistakes in their own defense. We did see a whiff from AXB for one of the goals. We saw Sosa just completely outplaying Sypical, I think it was, with his air dribble bump setup. It is definitely a matchup that Space Station Gaming can make improvements on, even though you can sometimes just lose to a team when they've got a player who's playing as well as Sosa did in that game.
Yeah, he definitely stepped up. Star performance from Sosa in game 1, but will we need it in game 2? I mean, if Taroko's finding angles like that, this might be a problem for Space Station. Great goal.
Yeah, who needs Sosa when you've got these positions on lockdown? Typical is not back in defense yet. He's still on the rotation. Arsenal awkwardly positioned at the near post, couldn't get goal side of the ball, and that's another good shot for Taroko. Like you said, the finishing has been mostly players other than Sosa. He's doing all the setups, he's putting the ball in front of the goal for the most part, but the other players have to be there. I mean, with how effective Sosa's passing's been, they're always going to be there, in my opinion, because they've got full faith in him getting that ball center. But even when he's not, there's other ways for them to score. Mektos, Taroko both have solo duelist backgrounds, so they know how to put their opponents in difficult positions as well.
We might need to see some of that come out too as well, as this series is starting to heat up a bit. Plot twist with some offense, but here's typical pass to AXB as they transition downfield. A great clear coming out from Mektos. He finds Taroko and they will pass it back into the Space Station gaming game. So transitions very effective for both teams. Arsenal, flip reset, and no, he won't be able to find that. Regardless, ball into the corner of Plot Twist in. Typical slow shot, and Mektos will try to control it. He'll get demo, but not before he pushes this ball back into midfield. Space Station Gaming looking for a chance here. Typical air dribbles it all to the backboard. Arsenal, a fast touch here. AXB looking for the top right, and he will find a beautiful shot for AXB.
Perfectly hit by XP, like you said, the third man at the edge of the box, just waiting for his chance to move in. But that is not an easy shot to put in the top bin, and that's exactly what he's done. More like it from Space Station Gaming. They look like a totally different team when they're moving the ball side to side, lateral movement in offense, instead of just barreling forward, straight down the middle. So I want to see more of that from them.
Team play has been a great sign of offense, but people seem to forget the individuals sometimes, and AXB just showing that he can put it to that top right corner if he needs to. And he'll be needed on defense to stop the shot from Taroko. Meanwhile, ball still being pressured here from Plot Twist. Taroko keeps this one in play. Arsenal has to cut things out, but Mektos, I don't know if that touches was the best one. Sipical's right there. He's looking for it. Oh my goodness, almost, barely. Doesn't go in from Sipical, and that would have been a fantastic goal for Space Station.
That's such a great strike by Sipical. You feel like he deserved that goal. It looked so good as he was flying through the air. It's just come off the inside of the post, and no one was there to follow up on it. Taroko underneath one. That's a late rotation again from Space Station, but it will not be too late this time. Looking dangerous for Space Station in defense still. There are holes the Plot Twist can exploit, that they can try to work their way through.
I see what you mean, especially too. A lot of space here in the midfield for Plot Twist. It's when they start to pass things in transition where things look a little dangerous for Space Station. No one's really been able from either side to cut out those midfield transitions. Sosa will be able to get this one down to the box. There's a cut from Taroko as they try to keep things in play. And look at Space Station. Look how close up they are in front of that ball. No one rotating towards the back post. They all kind of shadow each other. And if that ball gets too far away from them, it could spell disaster.
It's a totally different game when Sosa's having a harder time to get into it. And it's something Space Station might be trying to do, just keep the ball away from him. Although in 3v3 in Rocket League, you very rarely have the option to, shut a player out individually. Sosa with a bump onto Sipical, and it's flicked wide by Taroko. Really needs to be on target, just like the Mektos shot in the last game. Those have to be on target, especially if you're shooting in the far post like that. The ball's naturally going to clear itself if you miss.
So that could be the difference maker at this point. There's no one-goal cushion for either of these teams. Final 45 seconds here in Game 2. We are still tied up. Space Station Gaming will try to pinch this downfield, see if they can control some possession, but no, it's passed right back out into their box. This one off the sidewall. AXB will play this one downfield towards Sipical. And Arsenal will come up. He'll try to take a shot at least buy his team some more time. Clock is ticking as next goal could be the final one of this game. Here's Sipical playing this one through. Cutaway. Ball in space. Arsenal, the pass. AXB gets a piece of it, goes towards Taroko. Sipical keeps this one in the half. Plot twist. Might be a chance here. Arsenal in the air, looking for the shot. Almost got the light touch. AXB with the follow.
AXB.
Does he have it? No, he doesn't. We're going to overtime.
Oh, it's so close for Space Station again. They were trying to get that late goal. They're going to have to do it all over again now. This is not the side that you want to see. Taroko's got the reset. Doesn't get the shot on target, though. Accuracy plaguing both teams at the end of game number 2.
So game number 2 coming down to the wire here. Low scoring, so they don't win too many points here in Johnny's book, but We'll
I just
see.
want terrible defense, Deseret. I don't want to see anybody defending, making saves. Only goals, please.
Yes, exploit the bad defensive mistakes here. And something that neither team actually has been able to do so far. We see close chances as Arsenal tries to get that one through. But yet again, it remains a one-goal game, or a 1-1 here. Only one goal scored per team. As the first minute of overtime has gone by. You see Sipico looking for a chance here. Oh my goodness, he almost got that one through. Great try from Sipico on the air dribble, but alas, still nothing for Space Station.
Space Station are still just looking for that hard clear straight down the middle over and over again. And it's pretty easy for Plot Twist to see this coming because it is just straight at them. So much like I said earlier, I'd love to see Space Station looking for passes out to the sides. That is how they set up their only goal of this game. And as for Plot Twist, you know, they just have to try and give the ball to Sosa. They seem to score a lot more goals when he's the one leading the attack.
So, Space Station Gaming, more team plays, definitely more passes. Plot twist, Sosa, more quiet this game. He went from being MVP with 7 shots and 6 saves to only 3 saves and 1 shot. So we need him to wake up for Plot Twist. That being said, it's been tough here for both teams in this game. Level of play has gone up, so to speak, but almost a hole in the defense. A double commit on Plot Twist, no one home, as they sit on their own end, giving up a lot of space here that Space Station could take advantage of. Sosa, though, great clear from him. Lots of space here for Plot Twist if they can push downfield effectively. Taroko looking for a close shot, save. Sosa's coming up, demoed immediately by AXB, and now it'll be Mektos and Taroko trying to keep this in play. It'll be Sipico, though. They'll try to carry this one all the way downfield. As we approach the 2-minute and 30-second mark, this overtime rages on.
Yeah, Space Station still being quite predictable with their offense, just lumping the ball forward and hoping that somebody misses it. We did have 2 whiffs simultaneously for Blood Twist moments ago. Oh, there's another one actually. Mektos saved by Sosa again. These misses are causing problems for Plot Twist, but Space Station have been unable to capitalize.
It goes back to what you were talking about earlier, Johnny. No real pass plays from Space Station Gaming. Everyone's trying to do things on their own. We see a lot of solo plays coming out from them, and it just leaves, it's so simple to defend when you're on Plot Twist because you only have to worry about one guy. We haven't seen them really embrace any pass options yet, so it could be a huge factor in why Space Station just haven't had any quality chances.
Oh, that's a quality chance though. Well shot down by Sipical. He was quickly off his goal line there. Sosa's touch is going to be easily dealt with by Arsenal. This is a long overtime in game number 2. And with Plot Twist playing as, I would say, solidly as they are, well, you know, for the most part, defensively, Space Station really do need to get a hold of this one. It's been a very tense last few minutes, though. You can understand why the defenders of both teams are feeling quite jumpy.
And you can see the space, too, in between clears. No one immediately cutting the ball off very quickly, as no one wants to commit too many resources to one particular play, because the transition could be deadly from either team. It's like a waiting period. They're trying to see what's working and what's not, seeing if they can bait out a double commit and then punish from it. Right now, a close chance here if Plot Twist can get this to the midfield. Mektos tries, but not necessarily the best touch. As Space Station Gaming will take control. They're taking this slow, flick over 1. Arsenal plays it high, forcing Sosa back. Arsenal's going to continue as that pitches to midfield. Now Sipico with control here. They're trying to get this one through, looking for that chance. Pass comes out. No, it's a shot, and it's still saved. Mektos rotates back in time. Taroko with the transition. Mektos, low shot, and AXB will be able to easily pick that up.
That's a danger though on the counter-attack. Mektos is alone, but he's dealt with that really well. In fact, he's very quickly up into the air. It's bounced off AXB into the backboard. Taroko's missed. And these opportunities have been quite few and far between for Plot Twist. They need to hit the target. They need to hit the ball, obviously, before they can worry about hitting the target. We're approaching 5 minutes of overtime. Still no goal in sight.
It's also late on that one. Taroko has to come and keep this one in play here. Like I said, we hit the 5-minute mark, but the game still continues. Sosa, high, that goes off the ceiling. Looking to dunk Sipico, at least get the ball away from him so there's a clear chance. But AXB, a good read. Solid reactions here. Space Station, keep it close. The fake from Arsenal. AXB comes up. Again, playing it slow, but Mektos with a dive. Gonna be able to eliminate that. Now pass to Taroko. off the backboard. It gets away from Space Station Gaming, but Arsenal, he has to dive, at least keep it close. Doesn't want to force a challenge. Sypical comes in close as well. But this ball is zooming up and down the field as transition after transition and possession change comes out from both teams.
Yeah, Plot Twist just needs to calm down. They're missing the ball a fair bit in this overtime. As we go on here, pressure rises, tensions rise, and it's looking like Plot Twist are not dealing with it as well as Space Station are. That being said, they are still creating chances. Speaking of which, AXB bangs one top left. So he's hit both top corners of this game. And that's some clinical striking. Absolutely slammed it.
Too much space given to Space Station Gaming, or to AXB in particular, and I mean, that's a lot of power on the Fennec. AXB comes in clutch for Space Station Gaming in game number 2. 2 goals, both assisted from Arsenal, and they take it in a very long overtime.
Mecto says he needs water. He's going to be right back. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone through an entire bottle in that game. It was definitely a sweaty game 2 here. We're all tied up. Winner of this will advance into the upper bracket of playoffs tomorrow. Loser will be into the lower bracket of playoffs. But yeah, Space Station Gaming had the better of the game in this second one. It was Plot Twist's whiffs that were really letting them down, I feel. That was relieving a lot of pressure whenever they had the ball in offense. They were inviting a lot of pressure onto themselves as well. So they just need to try and calm down a bit, just take their time, because they don't need to be rushing in like way faster than they're used to. I think they're a fast enough team that they could just play their usual game, even though Space Station are, of course, they're going to put that pressure on you. You can understand why. There's a bit of a rush, going on with Plot Twist and with all their plays that they're making. They just want to go as fast as possible.
They do, but at the same time, like you said, well, to talk about toning things back, right? You want them to go as fast as possible. It seemed like in that game, especially towards overtime, they really dialed it back to where they weren't being aggressive enough on the ball. Look at the shot that AXB had to win in the overtime. You have Sosa and I believe Mectos, or it was either Mectos or Torque, just in the net. Like, no one out to dive it or challenge it at all. They're both in the net, covering each corner, but still, I mean, the shot from AXB was good. But it was also the fact that, again, they're giving Space Station Gaming so much space that they can do whatever they want. I feel like they probably shouldn't have got away with the shot from AXB. I feel like that one should have been saved. But nonetheless, the AXB shouldn't be able to be taking that shot in the first place. That just needs to be eliminated.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Crowding the goal area with multiple players, it can happen. It can be helpful at times. But ideally, whoever is sitting near post in that play would just charge down the pass, so that when AXB is trying to shoot, he's got less of a goal to aim at. He's got somebody in front of him just diving in his way. If you've got 2 just stationary objects on the goal line, much easier for AXB to just pick his spot, shoot whenever he wants, and just really focus on getting as much power as possible.
Exactly. So getting into this game, series tied up 1-1 apiece. Both teams, I mean, we've seen them play at a very fast level. We've seen them play pretty spaced out. It's been close. I think Plot Twist's huge bread and butter still lies on Sosa, though. We saw when he played up to speed, how he was it just seemed like SSG didn't have an answer for them. Do you think in game 2, Johnny, that they actually did kind of shut him down? What was the reason why he was so quiet?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's very difficult every single game in Rocket League, because the games are only 5 minutes long, to show up and have an absolute blinder of a game every single time. Maybe Sosa just had a quiet game there, found it difficult to get into it, wasn't reading the play as well as he did previously, or just the ball didn't fall for him, because 50-50s and wall bounces sometimes send the ball completely away from you. But it was a factor. The fact that Sosa wasn't getting involved in offense as often, it meant that the quality of the passing was significantly lower for Plot Twist. As Taroko and Mectos have proven to be pretty good finishers, But in the setup, they're definitely up until now nowhere near the level that Sosa is at. He's like top tier, even compared to the NRGs, the Rogues, and the Envies of this tournament.
Yeah, and we get this game set up and underway to go here. Game number 3. We have our requirements for the teams. Our list of feedback, I should say. But obviously, we got to see just how these two are adapting to each other over time. Right now, Plot Twist, a team that starts off with so much energy, now looking like they're losing steam. Meanwhile, Spacestation Gaming, a consistent. I mean, they have a much larger gas tank. If I'm gonna make that analogy, they can definitely just pull off consistent offensive pressure over time. So it's really up to Plot Twist to make sure that that one game where they just have so much offensive pressure isn't just the only game that they can pull off.
Yeah, we talked about Sosa so much here because obviously he just carried with an MVP performance in Game 1, but Spacestation, they've got that ace up their sleeve as well in Sypical, possibly the best player in North America when he's playing at his best. And we saw a little bit of that today. Earlier on in the upper bracket, he was able to bring Spacestation Gaming into that Game 5 overtime against Rogue. Obviously, Rogue went on to win that, but it was largely due to Sypical's place that they got there in the first place. And so, so far he's not had I wouldn't say he's had a quiet series, but he, compared to the level that we've seen from him in the past, has got improvements to make as we get deeper into this one, towards games 4 and 5, business end. We're smack bang in the middle right now, and so is the ball in the middle of Plot Twist box, but nobody's there. We had AXP and Arsenal having a picnic on the halfway line. You're not going to get another chance at that one, boys. That was just rolling around in the box. Nobody there to put it in.
Yeah, clear chance, and now they're going to have to work for it, as Plot Twists are going to be sure not to make that same mistake. I say that now, but with 3 minutes left, honestly, if it were to happen again, I wouldn't be too surprised. Sosa picking this one up. It'll be AXB knocking it off to the side. Here's Mektos, and the pass to no one. Typical will pick this one up. Lot of room.
You might have thought he's playing Chaos there, looking for the 4th player. Definitely only 3 on the field last time I checked. That would be an interesting ruling there if they just randomly subbed in a 4th player. I've never seen that at the restart of it.
We might actually get some gameplay here today.
You're gonna hop into the Plot Twist team and be that winger on the far side for Mektos capacity. That's a free shot for Taroko. He puts it way wide though. Knocked over the corner flag. It's a pretty even game though, and very even series overall. And the whiffs have calmed down. I think Plot Twists have just taken a bit more time on the ball before rushing into it this time.
It does seem like they are a little bit more spaced out, and you can see the benefits too with that controlled offensive pressure that they have for the time being. They're more spaced out. They're also able to just, again, put the ball back into Spacestation Gaming's in pretty well. It's going to be up to Spacestation to really effectively transition this, and of course they give it to Sypical, and he's just going to take it all the way home. First goal goes to Sypical.
Sypical with a monstrous second touch here. That first touch just baited the defender. They thought, okay, he must be going for a flip reset here because that first touch was so light and so delicate. Actually, though, just rolls through and really got a lot of power on that second hit.
Did he? Plot Twist defense. They should know, 1, don't give Sypical too much time to do it. 2, at some point, you just have to play that as close as possible. And diving early, I mean, he's just going to play around you. Hold on, Arsenal says he's trying to find an angle, but it will be shut down. So now Plot Twist, first time in this series they're playing from behind to kick things off. We'll see if they can make those adaptations.
And Plot Twist once again, waiting for Sosa to put on his backpack, start firing assists into the middle of the box. So games 2 and 3, that's not really been happening after, maybe he just wasted all of his assists. They didn't waste them because they won the game, but they've used all of his assists in game 1, he didn't have any left over. But they're running out of time now, and Arsenal is going to put a second shot on target. Mektos can't save it, 2-0. It's not too easy for SSG.
And this is a side of plot twist. I mean, look at the touch here from Taroko. It's soft and just so far away from Mektos, who's right under him. And it just leaves Arsenal with an open net look. Defense from plot twist just seems to have broken down here as we're less than a minute left here. And they've given up 2 very quickly.
Very cheap goals as well. They'll think, especially this second one, there's just too much space on the ground there for Arsenal to utilize. Just like there was too much space in the air for Sipical in the previous goal. Plot Twist will have to try and close that down faster in the future, but more importantly, they're going to have to try and put a couple goals in very soon because time is absolutely getting away from them here. Spacestation have all 3 players back. That might just be game, actually, unless Taroko can do something with this. Typical, strong in the way of that one. And Sosa and Mektos have both gone for it. That's game, as Spacestation Gaming take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, this one is all but over. They had a chance, and once they ran into each other, you kind of knew it was a done deal. Look at them trying to get a little quick pass play going in the game. Nope, they won't have it, but they will end up getting the series advantage here as they do take game 3.
Yeah, and it's another quiet game for Sosa, and it just seems to be you got 2 different types of plot twist. Either Sosa shows up and has a monster game and they win, or he doesn't and they just lose kind of disappointing fashion. It's time now to figure out, okay, do they have another way to win? We've seen some impressive team plays from all 3 of them earlier on in the tournament. We need somebody to step up here. Yeah, it could be Sosa again. It could also be one of the other 2 players, but you know, the accuracy, that killer instinct has got to make a return. They just look like they're terrified right now of losing. Every situation they're in, they just look like they're playing not to lose and afraid of missing. And it's probably just those nameplates that they're looking across the other side of the field. You see typical Arsenal XP, and you just start thinking, this is bad news. Every time that we're attacking, we're going up against some pretty good players here. Spacestation have been, I'd say, improving just gradually as we go on through this series.
Yeah, Spacestation Gaming has definitely been stepping up. Again, one of these things that I've noticed from plot twist, like you said, I just feel like they just have slowed down. Oops, they've slowed down way too much. I need to slow down. And they've given up so much space to Spacestation Gaming that they just play around them consistently. And we saw, I feel like it was pretty demotivating once Sipical scored the air dribble, especially because he was trying to get challenged and just gets through the defense. And plot twist it just feels like after that goal, they just completely fall apart. And it feels like they've been on a downward spiral ever since. They haven't been able to get anything going on offense. They didn't score at all in that last game. And the team members who are performing are just struggling to get anything going.
This is it, best of 5. It comes down to this. Plot Twist started off this series looking very promising. And they need 2 in a row now, or it will be Spacestation advancing into the upper bracket tomorrow. Both of these teams will advance into the bracket tomorrow, the playoff bracket. But you get 2 lives in that bracket if you win here. The loser of this will only have 1 life. The winner will be playing against NRG in round 1. So it's definitely a difficult road no matter which way you go.
Yep. Once you told me that, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't think anyone has this easy. And, oh my goodness, the whole team went up. Sipical will get the dunk, but it's not in. A great save from Mektos to keep this 0-0.
Indeed, Mektos really coming in clutch there after the entire team committed. I mean, that's not the synergy we were looking for from Plot Twist today. And that save from Sosa is not good enough. Arsenal with his steal. As AXB sends another shot on target. And AXB shooting has been one of the main reasons that Spacestation have been in this series.
Shot placement is on for AXB. And Spacestation Gaming, when they get this confident on offense, it's like a swarm just hovering over your entire half where you can't get anything going. But hold on, Mektos might have broken through. What a play.
Oh my goodness, Mektos underneath AXB and then straight through Sipical as if he's not even there. What a solo play. We talked about this before Game 4 started. They need somebody else to step up if Sosa's not able to do it. There you go, Mektos with a great save earlier on, and now a huge goal. There's going to be more by the looks of things, and it's Taroko with a save this time in a 1v2.
Said, this one moves into the corner here. But man, what a play from Mekdos. I feel like he's been watching some of your tournaments, Johnny. Learning from those, because that was fantastic. He saved the flip to the last second there to win the 50. That was great from him. So
yeah, this is beautiful timing by Mekdos. He's obviously a player who in the past has put in time in solo duels and recently not so much. Oh, big dunk by Sosa.
Goodness.
The dunks are just raining through. Space Station Gamer going to start having PTSD about this one. AXB this time getting absolutely destroyed by Sosa.
And he had no more boost there either, so Sosa had to play the 50 after he had ran out of boost there. Perfect read on the play. As I feel like they're trying to impress Johnny Boy at this point. They said, we might not be able to win the series, but we got to get some brownie points in Johnny's book. It's looking good, though. They are up by 2. And this is really what you want to see from Plot Twist in terms of at least motivation-wise. They could totally get back into this series as long as they can continue to keep up this type of momentum. It's going to be a problem, though. Space Station Gaming are going to, again, just attempt to kind of get back into things here. Ball into that side wall. And Arsenal. Oh, he's looking for a shot with that one. A good save from Taroko. ASB will try to keep it in play, but this one definitely gets good.
It's a cheeky little shot there by Arsenal. Don't think the defense anticipated as much power as there was. Taroko as AXB 1v1 in the near post. AXB's got his number. This is not too bad for Plot Twist. They've stayed pretty calm in the last game. Despite losing, they didn't have too many of those whiffs like we saw in the overtime of game 2. And with that kind of composure already figured out, it's a lot easier to transition a 2-1 lead into a game 4 win, into a game 5.
Man. They're looking to set that game 5 up as well. This is Arsenal. Again, trying to get Space Station Gaming back into this. Mekdos, a good touch. Mekdos will go again. Sosa in the midfield, he'll need to support. Taroko, a lot of control here. What's he gonna do? Plays the challenge. No, go to the side. Nice other touch too from Arsenal. Push that one into the side wall.
Yeah, you get a spell on it, but still well played. Good reaction after noticing what was happening. Sosa's played that straight into the ceiling. Now Arsenal to the back wall. He's called off it by Sipical. And that is the equalizer that Space Station have been waiting for. Great communication. AXP was up, but he just came straight back down when Sipical jumped up straight over his head.
Great goal here for Space Station Gaming. They still find a way to break through. And now Plot Twist. With the final minute here in game 4.
Oh, dear.
No. Oh dear is right. Arsenal says no time left. We're gonna take this lead.
Oh, that is not the play that Plot Twist needed. That's not the play we've come to expect from Sosa. He had such a great game 1 here, but he has given the ball away in the final third. And you can't be given an open net to Arsenal from that range. He's going to punish you. 1 goal lead for Space Station. They're on double match point here. This could take the series.
This could be a chance. Taroko with a pinch. Plot Twist have to make something happen here very quickly. Pass comes through. Taroko has to race back, looking to turn, and does get a pretty solid challenge, but there's going to be no follow-up. Taroko will try to dive on the play, forcing AXB up, but Plot Twist moves so far downfield that they have to turn around. Oh, and man. AXB with the dog. That might do it, John.
Yeah, it's just far too greedy there by Mekdos. You have to anticipate AXB going for this. And we're not playing 2v2 here. We're not playing 1v1. We're playing 3v3. What do players do in 3v3 if they've got 2 teammates behind them? They ball chase. That's why you never know when you're going to get a freebie.
Especially when you have a 1-goal lead within the final 20 seconds. You're going to stay on top of that ball and make another team uncomfortable as possible. And we saw that happen. Now, pass out, Space Station Gaming. It's just keep away at this point as they will win and qualify for the upper bracket tomorrow. Again, Plot Twist not out of things yet, but they will play in the lower half of the bracket. They put on a great fight and they even still fighting in these last few seconds, even though it's all over. But that one will hit the ground, and that'll be Space Station in 4.
So Space Station confirmed their place in the upper bracket tomorrow against NRG, and we're waiting to find out who Plot Twist will be playing against. Well, they're going to be playing against the loser of Envy, and I think Omelette, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we know already who Space Station can go up against here. Probably, most people would say it's going to most likely be Omelette there, but after their recent lower bracket run that they've had today, maybe not, and the Envy didn't look completely foolproof today, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, teams definitely showed signs of life here. Even Plot Twist in this series, it just seemed like towards pretty much after game 2, they really fell out of it and were drained. But I mean, again, lots of good signs from even the top teams, and it'll be a great playoff bracket. But again, let's get Shogun's thoughts on things as we will fade him in. Look at her. Hello, Shogun. Welcome.
Hello.
What do you think?
Been spying on us the whole time.
I have been waiting to see how this went down, and I'll tell you what, lads, very impressed today by the non-invited teams, the qualified teams that we did get in. We did see Omelette qualify in the upper bracket, and we've also just seen quite a good fight here, actually, from Plot Twist, so very impressed with them. But that is now it in terms of our regular bracket, and it has certainly been a very curious way indeed. However, it does set it up as follows for tomorrow. All 3 teams from either side of the groups that have now qualified will be going into a double elimination finals at tomorrow. It is currently looking like NRG are going to be taking on Space Station, which sounds like a great time for everyone involved, as long as you're not actually on those teams. Omelette are also going to be taking on Team Envy, and Rogue and Plot Twist will be waiting down in the lower bracket to see who they will be taking on, which is just going to be brutal for everyone involved. I'm looking forward to that an awful lot. Lads, looking at that, who have you got as the most likely to be winning it tomorrow?
I think that I'd have to probably go with NRG based on what we saw today. But they do have to play Space Station in the first round of the upper bracket. Envy have got Omelette, so maybe there's a chance for NRG to be just upset, sent to lower. It's definitely a tough one. I'd still go with NRG though.
Yeah, honestly, I am feeling NRG. They definitely look like a strong contender to take this. The only other second I would have at this point would be Envy. Now, we do have that matchup with Space Station Gaming, but I just don't feel like Space Station Gaming have made a big enough impact on the higher level teams in this tournament than Envy has. So I have Envy as kind of like my secondary pick, but NRG it is too.
So, as I mentioned, we are now done with the regular part of the tournament, but the broadcast is nowhere near finished yet, because coming up after a quick break, we have got Wheel and Deal. For those of you out there that have not seen it and you didn't see it yesterday, it was absolutely bonkers what we got. We have seen Boomer Hoops 3v3, we have seen Boomer Drop Shot, but we have got so many more options. All of the cards that you see on your screen can be played by these teams, and we have not quite seen quite a few of these, actually. It seems like the majority of the Boomer cards have been used. But when we come back, we are going to be getting into that with the first match of the lower bracket, where G2 Esports will look for glorious revenge against Omelette. Whoever loses that one is out of the competition, and whoever wins is moving on to the next round. Do not miss it. We are back in 5.